I'm going to try and do the same thing I always do. If I'm entering an event, I'm going to try and win this thing. I know that's a tall order, because since I've been away from the game for so long and I've made a lot of different changes in my game, but the mindset's still the same. And whether that physically and also equipment, practice schedules, training, all that has evolved. The mindset of competing hasn't. And that is to go out there and try and beat these guys.
Tiger Woods speaking in advance of the Hero World Challenge, where the 14-time major champion is set to return after a 15-month absence due to 2 back surgeries. Max, will Tiger ever win another major?
Yeah, I think he will, actually. And, you know, for all the critics back when, who said when he had the world by the tail, you know, that he would break Nicklaus's record and that was a foregone conclusion, those critics have been proven wrong, I think. And the critics who said, hey, slow down, we don't know how the trajectory of his career is going to go, and a lot of them were called haters at the time, they've been proven right. He ain't catching Nicklaus. He ain't going to win 4 or 5 more. But 1 more? Yeah, he could do that. Look, the irony of Tiger's career is that he is now, as he ages, and is no longer the same guy, playing in an era that's better than any era ever because of the Tiger Woods effect. Young players, athletes for the first time, fathers were putting golf clubs in their hands, in their sons' hands, and mothers in their sons' hands because, hey, look, Tiger Woods, he had that kind of influence. And so all of a sudden, not only is he aging, but he's playing against young, athletic, excellent players by golf standards. They're not athletes compared to real athletes, but by golf standards. And so it's going to be more difficult for him. But can he win 1 more? I remember watching Nicklaus, and I'm not a golf fan. I'm a fight fan. I like exciting sports, and real sports, by the way. Let's be honest. But
golf
I remember,
is a sport.
Not really.
Golf.
We can have it's not a sport, but we can argue that on a different day. No, it's not.
It's not a violent sport.
Yeah,
it's not a pastime.
Yeah, if you can't measure the athletic ability of an athlete by the game they play, it's not a sport. But we can argue about that another time. Nicklaus was 46 years old when, on the back 9, he shot a 30, 1986 Masters, and overtook Greg Norman. And that's something that can happen in golf. A guy like Tiger Woods, who was known for that last round, right? He was clutch under pressure. A guy like that, playing a game like this, can catch lightning in a bottle one afternoon and shoot a miraculous round of golf as long as he can hang around in a tournament and win. I think that will happen, just the kind of law of averages, based on the number of tournaments he'll play. I think that will happen before he's done, and he will win 1 more.
You're talking about what could happen. I'm talking about what I believe. I don't believe that Tiger Woods will win another major, period. I wish I was wrong. I wish that he was somebody that I thought would catch Jack Nicklaus. I do not see it happening. And I'm going to lean on, Max, what I've religiously leaned on. I think that he is psychologically and emotionally warped. I think he's gone. I think the height of his greatness wasn't just about his physical ability, his ability as a golfer. It was also the mental aptitude that he had. He not only was stronger mentally, he intimidated the opponents mentally. He intimidates no one now. It's gotten to the point where contemporaries actually feel sorry for him. They either feel sorry for him or they don't like him and think that he's gotten what he's deserved. He's gotten his comeuppance because of his transgressions, which, by the way, were none of their damn business. At the end of the day, what it comes down to is this. Tiger Woods lived a lie. And I'm not talking about it's none of their damn business in terms of them commenting on what's been reported, because we all do that. I'm talking about how judgmental they've been in those circles in private, all of that acting like, choosing to judge him beyond the pale. Tiger Woods was wrong. Tiger Woods transgressed. He did all of those things. He lived in flat-out absolute lie. And he perpetuated that lie and manufactured it into hundreds of millions of dollars. When it all came crashing down on him, you would think your family being fragmented, losing your wife, etc., all of those were the most devastating things. In my mind, I believe what devastated him most is that he felt completely exposed. That if any of that had happened in private and no one knew anything, Tiger Woods would have been just fine. It's the fact that everybody knew and was now looking at him as someone who was the complete antithesis of everything he marketed himself to be that helped him generate those millions. That kind of lie and being exposed for that lie diminished and shrunk him psychologically to such astronomical proportions that I don't believe he can recover from that. And because of it, I believe he will not win a major, because the major, remember, he's won other tournaments, but he knows he's measured for the majors. The majors is when you're going up against the very best that is out there. And to squelch them and to minimize them, you have to have such incredible intestinal fortitude. I believe he is no longer, I think he's devoid of that, and that's what it is.
There's a lot of truth there about the way athletes, I think, oftentimes, not all of them, not the psychotic ones, but many of them, need to feel that they have kind of a moral high ground, you know, that they deserve it in some way. You see a guy at the free throw line, sometimes you get the feeling like, does this dude think he deserves it? He doesn't. Right? Maybe Tiger doesn't. And that's something he might be able to get over. We'll see through the years. But in terms of the field being intimidated, if you just shoot a great round of golf, doesn't mean if they're intimidated. It doesn't matter if they're intimidated or not. You got the low score, you win. And I remember Fat Jay Haas at like 50 years old outplaying Tiger Woods over the course of an afternoon or two when Tiger was in his prime. So if that can happen, and old Tiger Woods, I think, can certainly outplay the field, you know, over the course of an afternoon.
Well, I would say to you, I hope that you're right.
46.
I sincerely hope that you're right. I hope that I'm wrong, because I root for Tiger, and I think the game of golf is better for all of us when Tiger is in it, playing at an elite level. No one could dispute that. But I don't play golf like that. I might play golf 3 times a year, for crying out loud. I am telling you that the golf aficionados that I have spoken to all believe that his aura intimidated the competition so much it affected the way others played, particularly in crunch time. That is no longer happening against Tiger Woods.
Yeah, now it appears to be broken.
It was like the Mike Tyson effect, right? The intimidation. Of course, no one's getting hit, running, jumping, throwing, nothing. But for some reason, it intimidated those very tough golfers.
Who's the guy that Tyson knocked out? And Sheldon or Selden? Selden, yeah. When he didn't get hit, but still went down and stayed down for 10 seconds and then got up like everything was all right, but he was hurt. I mean, he didn't hit him. He missed him. And the guy got down and wouldn't get up. Nicholas Walters wasn't that bad, Max, but it was pretty damn close this past Saturday.
On a lighter note, gentlemen, in the bizarre news of the night, J.R. Smith allowed an uncontested dunk while he hugged Bucks guard Jason Terry in the second quarter of the Cavs loss. Here's J.R. or his alter ego after the game.
It's my alter ego, so I just, you know, it was a gift from Ohio State, so yeah, why not?
Does your alter ego have a name?
Yeah.
What is it?
I can't tell you.
Oh boy. Do you have to walk out the door? Do you have to walk out the door backwards when you get home now, or are you good?
No, I still do. So,
you still do?
For the team's sake, not just myself.
So you'll do it when you get home?
Absolutely.
Let's get back in our feelings, Stephen A. Mm-hmm. How should we feel about this?
I would say this. It's not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. The video was absolutely hilarious for us to watch. It was hysterical. Not as funny, however, as Shaq and the Fools thing on Otto Porter last year. I think it was March of 2015, when Otto Porter is standing on the wing frozen while the guy he's defending goes to the opposite side of the wing before he even realizes he's gone. I would encourage everyone to go and watch Shaq and the Fool, Google it up, and watch Otto Porter.
We just watched it a few times in the commercial break.
Let me tell you, it's the funniest stuff that I've seen in years on a basketball court. It wasn't quite that funny.
Slow motion.
But it wasn't quite that funny.
Close.
But it was pretty damn close watching JR give dap to somebody while his dude went in for a dunk. Having said that, on a more serious note, I love JR. Good dude. Playing great defense, by the way. Game 7, I don't know if they win Game 7 in the finals without JR hitting those 2 big threes. He deserves props. He deserves credit. He deserves his money. But I got to tell you, had I seen that and I was the coach, I was Tyronn Lue, I'd have benched JR for the rest of the game. I'd have benched him for the rest of the game. I might have benched him for the next game. You can't.
Now you're going to lose the game anyway.
You can't be that irresponsible on the court. Can't do that.
Is that a set play, you think? Like Jason Kidd, like, look, Jason, come over here. Dap him up, and then, cut.
Yes.
Hilarious. In the basket.
It was hilarious.
I mean, this is the thing about J.R. Smith.
So a teammate scratching their head like, you realize what you just did? Yeah, it was like that. Yeah,
but that's the thing about J.R. Smith since he's been on the cast, even before. He was always a pretty decent percentage player. Like, he could play. Not just, like, explosive athletically in that, oh, my God, did you see that way? But he could shoot and he could do a lot of things. Or some things very well anyway. But he didn't play defense, and he didn't show up in the playoffs. And how serious a player was he really going to be? And it's really to LeBron James's credit.
Yes, it is.
LeBron James's staggering greatness that he then takes a guy like J.R. Smith, and due to LeBron James's presence and his influence, J.R. becomes the best perimeter defender on the team. I mean, it's insane. That's how great LeBron is. But now he's turned J.R. into a good player. And sometimes he will still have mental lapses, and that's what you got to live with J.R. Smith.
I will want to say this, though. J.R. is not having a good year thus far.
Right.
He's shooting 30% from the field.
That'll change.
I'm just saying, it better change. That's my point. J.R. Smith is better than that. And J.R. Smith, just like he evolved and started putting the ball on the floor last season, instead of just relying on his set shooting or his jump shooting, now he puts the ball on the floor, attacks the basket so he can hit free throws. He needs to shoot better than 30% from the field, better than 32% from three-point range. He's averaging less than 9 points a game. And also, let's keep this. J.R. is one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet in your life. He really is a good guy, but I'm telling you right now, you got to play better. You got to be more focused.
You got to stay off the what? Who? What's the, I don't know how to read
mental lapse.
I have no evidence that JR would do such things. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell.
Yes.
I'd wait for you to get busted. Then I'd say something.
Okay.
But not before.
On that note.
Not before. Would never
Stitches
do
get
that.
what? Coming up, the Jeff Fisher saga continues as one of the Rams execs is saying he's done a model job with the team. We'll break that down after the break. But before we do, here's a little taste of Stephen A. yesterday.
Congratulations to the Los Angeles Rams organization. You now have a great reason to get rid of Fisher right now. Eric Dickerson's not coming back. Please, who the hell do you think you are? Get this man out of town. Who do you think you are? I cannot believe
Just for the record.